What's happening? Happy Halloween, everybody. It's Bad Brad here. Just a little impromptu live. I've got a few minutes before the wife and the in-laws get back and we do a little Halloween shenanigans today. So I thought I'd just come on here, man, and I'd get on here and I'd just do a little Halloween special. I don't have a costume today. So, it's going to be Nigel and it's going to be Phil Button. How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining me, man. I just thought I had a little time. I just thought I'd, just do a little impromptu live on this Halloween day, see how everybody's doing, how everybody's vibing out there. Man, I am just, everything is doing great. Aaron, how you doing? Blessings to you, brother. Thank you so much. Is it Saturday already? No, Harry, it's Thursday. And I figured, man, why not? Why not? I got a moment here before the house gets crazy and everybody comes running in and, everybody gets ready for the Halloween. I thought, man, why don't I just come on? What's up, Sean? How you doing? Top of the afternoon, William. What's up, Brad? You're shredding the acoustic. Right on. Woo! Live. Yes, indeed, Maxwell. How you doing? Like I said, man, I just thought I'd come on here and have a little fun with you guys and do a little music chat on this. Dude, Maxwell, just thought we'd come on here and have a little fun. And, man, everything is cool. What's up with you, brother? Everything is excellent. It is Halloween. And, man, it's been such a wild week, with the X5 podcast airing yesterday. I just thought, man, this would be a cool time. I got a brief minute. Howdy. All right, Mr. Johnson. Yes. Glad to have you here. Man, if we can just share a little Red Bull. Maxwell, the response has been great because it is a great episode. And man, I encourage everybody to go watch that. Paul, what's happening, brother? Happy Halloween. Cheers. Here is my costume, my broken Elvis shades. Brett, how you doing? Yes, indeed. Woo! 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 Right on, Paul. Right on, brother. I hear you. Man, I just thought I'd come on here and have some fun, man. Shoot the you know what for a minute. If anybody's got any questions or just wants to smash that like button. Thank you, Paul. Yes, everybody, we got 18 people in here, so we got to have at least 18 likes, man. At least. We're just having a little fun, man. So I'll let you guys in on a secret. This Sunday, I got an interview with my former boss, Ira Dean from the band Trick Pony. Great Nashville songwriter and, bass player, musician, producer. I mean, a guy who's worn many, many hats. But I just finished, and that's exactly, if you want a gig, you got to get the wig. But I just finished an interview with Joseph Wooten. Joseph Wooten from the Wooten Brothers. So that's probably going to air next Sunday. So, man, it's going to be super, super cool. We got a lot of cool stuff coming to the channel. Having a lot of fun. I got a guitar over here I need to demo for the channel. So, man, it's just super, super cool. I'm super stoked for everything that's going. Here's the thing, man. Like, that's a huge, huge thing. If you haven't seen the X5 podcast I did, go to their channel and watch that. It's a great, great interview, and those are a great group of guys, and I'm sure I'm probably going to end up doing something else with them down the road. But, man, you can't expect, there is no such thing. Thank you, Paul. Salute. Big P. All right, I love Big P, man. I'm so glad to hear from the Southern Arizona tribes, man. That is amazing. It is absolutely amazing that I can just click on here now and have this amazing group of musicians that this fellowship here, man, it's just amazing. It's amazing. Really, it really, really is. And, you know, it's Halloween. So I figured, why not come on here, have a little bit of Red Bull. Ooh. Woo! So that's it, man. You can't expect something like that. Thanks, Paul. You can't expect like X5 to, you know, I'm not expecting my channel to have 100,000 subscribers by the end of the week. You know, it's a slow roll. If I was an Instagram model, a gorgeous 18-year-old female model on Instagram, the rise would be very, very quick. But, you know, as it is and where I'm at in my career, I don't expect it to be overnight. I expect to enjoy every this. You know, it's a slow and steady climb. And, you know, I would love it if, you know, something on X5 went viral, one of those little clips they posted. I would love that. But man, I don't expect to hey, what's happening, Radio Chaos? Hey, Halloween, dressed in a green velour sweatsuit. All right. Thank you, Sean. Man, Sean, you can do it. One thing that you can see, you know, by what I'm doing on here is that anybody can do it, man. Anybody can do it. You just got nothing to it but to do it. Yeah, and Paul's got a great voice. So if you're in the Jacksonville area and you need a singer, you got your singer right there. And that's the other cool thing, is the networking that can start to happen on this channel. Anybody, you know, wants to, you know, continue working on music. And maybe I've had some guys that said they're in North Dakota and they can't find anybody to jam with. Man, I would love it if that guy could find somebody. That would be, you look, talking to Joseph Wooten today, I learned why those guys got so good. Because they had 5 guys that could all play and they could go jam after dinner. They'd be eating dinner and go, hey, you guys want to go jam? And boom. And so, man, and they were all, none of them wanted to be the one that was holding them back. Oh, wow, Phil. That's incredible. So, yeah, having people that you can play with that are incredible musicians is only going to elevate. Corpus Christi, been playing guitar only 2 years, and it's all that I can think about. Sean, that's the first thing. If guitar is all you can think about, that's a lot of what these people on this channel and people do. Then you've got the mojo, you've got the drive, and you're gonna go somewhere with that attitude. So, man, I am super glad to hear that. And it's nice at 41 to discover music, discover guitar like that. Man, it is a noble thing, playing real music. You know, guitar is not a synthesizer. It's a real living and breathing thing. And man, I am so glad. Radio is going to get his tuba degree, though. You know, it's funny. You know, we did that tuba video, and it was funny. Dude, Anarchy, how you doing? But he was telling me how his brother Roy had gotten together with this tuba player that was like really good. And the guy ended up being a conductor or something and ended up like, you know, going on to a huge career. So, hey, man, I'm not going to discount the tuba anymore. It was a college tuba, and he was the most sought after bass player. Yeah. Thank you, Anarchy. Thank you. Yeah, tuba would be a good, if you could learn to read tuba and then transfer it over thank you, Ocean, transfer it over to your bass playing, you could become quite a bass player because you'd already have your reading chops down. And man, everybody takes a different path. Sean's getting started at 41. A lot of guys maybe stopped later in their life, took a little break from music, and then they get back to it as they get older. And man, it is a great, great experience. But man, I didn't put together a Halloween costume today. I've got some masks that don't even have a mouth on them. I am not a good sight reader at radio. I can learn a part if it's written. I can read chord charts really well with a little bit of rhythmic notation on it. I can do that. But single notes, ever since I moved to Nashville, I never saw any single notes written down. So, you figure 30 years in Nashville and not reading, I wouldn't trust my sight reading. I never wanted to be a great sight reader. I've always been kind of an ear player that kind of knows some theory. That's kind of what I would say. Yeah, that Rick Beato course has got to be cool, man. That's got to be awesome. That's I'm sure it's great. All right, let's get those thumbs up. Good afternoon, Hermit. I'm glad to have you here, man. I'm glad to have everybody here. You only have to count to 7 in Nashville. Yeah, most of the time you count to 4. Count to 7 as far as the chords, right? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And most of the time it's 1, 4, 5, right? It's that whole number system. Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much, man. Let me tell you something, Alex. I really appreciate your support, man. Because without you, man, I'll tell you, a man without a song is like a man without a life, man. A man without a song is like a man without drive, man. Let me tell you something, Alex. I really appreciate your support, man. And man, I really hope that I can, one day shake your hand, man. Thank you very much. Elvis should have written a jingle for Pizza Hut. Can you imagine if Elvis had lived? That is hilarious. I'll answer that in a minute, miserable. I'll get to that in a minute. Can you imagine if Elvis had lived, maybe cleaned himself up, gotten himself together, but then found himself in modern day society and having to sing Pizza Hut commercials or sell, I don't know. What would Elvis, I love them baby back ribs. I love them, it'd be something like that. Yeah, hello, Colonel. Let's get a tasty piece of pie, man. I love Pizza Hut, man. That would be good. I think he did, miserable, and that's a sad thing. I think technically he fell face down off of it. I think that's probably what happened. He had terrible internal problems with his organs. So yeah, he did not have an easy time when he would go to the to that room, that special room. But yeah, man. So he just asked about lace sensor pickups. Now I know back in the day, I didn't really like lace sensor pickups that I heard on Strats and stuff like that. But I think they've come a long way. I haven't tried any of the new ones that they have, but I did use on the road the DiMarzio area pickups, and I do think they sound very Stratty, very single coil-ish. And for playing on a stage and eliminating noise, I think that would be my choice. That's what I used on the road, was Area 67, to get that kind of Hendrix tone with no noise. I think those sound really good. Now that I'm 55, I think Elvis every time I'm on the can. Dude, I have thought that as well. But man, hopefully none of us. Just bought a set of Lawler for the parts caster. Oh man, I love the Lawler stuff, man. I had to thin the herd some, and I sold a lot of my parts casters. One of them I sold was a black MJT Strat that had Lawler pickups in it. Man, that thing sounded amazing. Your office is a half a mile from the Elvis birthplace. That's right. You're in Tupelo, Mississippi. Man, I tell you, man, growing up in Tupelo, man, it was something else, man. I tell you, man, we lived in a shotgun shack, man. I was born in a shotgun shack, man, and I'll tell you what, Tupelo, Mississippi, man, I miss my birthplace, man. Wow, Ole Miss. Dude, I've played Ole Miss a few times. I've played there. I had a hilarious story. One of my videos talking about one of my first gig fail videos talks about a gig in Ole Miss and having to go stay at some rando girl's place because our band leader was too cheap to buy hotel rooms. Yeah. So somebody said the Sun Sessions, the early Elvis records. Yeah, Alex, I love those early records, man. The early Elvis is the best Elvis. I like the later Elvis. He definitely had some cool moments, but man, early Elvis, dude, it's rock and roll. If you want to hear like where Led Zeppelin got it, where you hear hard rock was kind of created, not necessarily rock and roll, because I think that had kind of technically been around before. But listen to Jailhouse Rock, man. Listen to Hound Dog. You could easily imagine that it's like an early Led Zeppelin. It's guitar, bass, drums, and a lead vocal. You know, in Hound Dog, the only time the vocal harmonies of the vocal group come in are at the guitar solo. But the rest of it, they're just. And so that is the sound of hard rock. Hey there, John E. Man, thank you for being here. I'm just so elated to be here. I want everybody to check out the X5 podcast if you have not. It's a pretty epic 1 hour. And dude, we could have gone for 10 hours. I could have, everybody talks about Joe Rogan doing 3 hours. Every time I have a conversation with one of my friends, just like I just had a conversation with Joseph Wooten on Zoom. It's going to air on the channel in about 2 weeks. We could have talked for 6 hours. We could have literally not even blinked. But I intentionally kind of cut it off at an hour. So maybe in the future, dude, we'll start stepping up these interviews and making them like these extended things, because you can really get into the deep nitty gritty. It's hard to sum up, a whole lifetime, 40 years of music. It's hard to sum that up in 1 hour. But I tell you what, X5 did a damn good job of encapsulating, kind of giving you the bio. Thank you, Lowdown. Thank you, man. Dude, it could not have gone any better. It could not. And that's a challenge. I had to explain to my wife and my mother-in-law, like, how do you do that? And I'm like, look, man, I studied Muhammad Ali. I studied Elvis. I studied people that had great cadence in their storytelling. I used to, when I was playing in LA in the Sunset Strip, I had a tape of Muhammad Ali boasting, and I would watch Muhammad Ali boasting, and I will, all these things. I will, knock this guy out. I would get that hyped up by watching him brag and boast. Yeah, Joey Diaz is an incredible storyteller. Thank you. Yeah, the Rudy Sarzo thing. Yeah, dude, I'm glad you bought his book. Man, that is amazing. No guitar experience to speak of. I want get a guitar and mess around. Something 80s-ish. I just want to jam, make some sweet noise. Should I take lessons or just YouTube? Michael, that's an interesting question. And if you've never taken any guitar lessons and you're starting from zero, And do yourself the favor and take at least 5 or 6 lessons with a good patient instructor, one-on-one. I think for people our age, I think that would help a lot. And yeah, get yourself an inexpensive guitar. Don't spend a lot of money. You don't need to spend the money. Get yourself a Boss Katana amp, the least expensive one you can find. It'll have every tone you need. You could get you can get this. Not really 80s. It's not really an 80s guitar, but it's $119. This is a Squire debut. Thank you, Miserable. Thank you. Yes, I get that, Miserable, but he was an amazing boxer, and he was an amazing performer. So I can separate different things and take the good with the bad. Not everybody is perfect. So, but yeah, check out this. You can get one of these on Amazon. Hit the Amazon link on one of my videos, Michael. Get you a Squire debut. It's $119. Get you a Boss Katana and a good cable. Man, that'll serve you well for a long time. And this guitar plays great. I mean, it's, you don't want to spend a lot of money right out of the gate. Yngwie vibe from the sunglasses. He almost does wear stuff like this, doesn't he? He almost does. I can't really do Yngwie's accent. Yeah, Paul, $119, dude. This is good bang for the buck guitar. Go with that, Michael. Go to maybe your local guitar center or something and take a handful of lessons. Take a handful of lessons just to have them guide you where you put your hands. But also, yes, take some YouTube lessons. Watch some YouTube videos. Thanks, Maxwell. I think I get the humor. It's the same thing with, someone saying about Cassius, and YouTube taught me everything, but totally down for some lessons. I started by restoring and modding my childhood Squire. Right on, Sean. Right on. You have a super cool local music store? Well, Michael, that is your answer right there. I think it helps when you're first starting out to have somebody be able to say, no, you're not keeping your fingers flat, or you're not doing this, and showing and just physically being able to guide you a little bit. What is someone that said best? Take vocal lessons. Haha. Bo, that's not a bad idea. If you want, woo, Mike is in the house. We got 2 moderators in here. We're rocking and rolling on a Halloween. It's a everyday Joe Halloween here. There's no fancy costumes. And there's none of the trickery. There's no tricks or treats in here. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, ma'am. I just thought it would be cool to come on here and talk a little bit while the wife and the in-laws are out of the house. Yeah, I think, William, you're right. Lessons are great for technique. Help you with your technique. Take a handful of lessons. Take 1 lesson a week. And understand that each lesson you're going to need to practice a little bit. Remember a band called Storyville with Malford Milligan on vocals? That sounds very familiar, Big P. But I don't know. My old brain doesn't always remember everything, but that sounds very familiar. Learn to sing while you play so you don't have to depend on a singer. Bo, I would agree with you. I'm not sure that Michael is even thinking about playing live gigs. I think he just wants to enjoy playing. But yeah, it helps to be able to sing. So yes, his coworker wouldn't listen to his advice. Man, you know what? I just don't even give people advice now unless they ask for it. Because, other than this channel, and you click on my videos purely out of choice. Because, man, we all know you can't really tell anybody anything. Love this. Thank you, Justin. Any run-in with Dan Huff over the years? Another guy who started in the hair metal. I used to listen to Dan Huff and Giant when I was dating this girl in Hollywood. And she drove a Mustang 5.0, and she would crank that I'm a Believer or whatever that song was by Giant with Dan Huff. And I'd hear that there's this intro, this cool guitar intro. And many years later, when I was playing out with a country artist, and Dan Huff was going to produce a couple songs for him, he came out to a live show, and he came on the bus to meet us all before, the show. And he saw me, and I had eyeliner on, and my hair, teased out. And I heard him over him say, "Is the guitar player wearing eyeliner?" So yeah, I do have. That's my Dan Huff story. That's all it is. Key. You can't. Some people don't want to hear, and that's just what it is. I don't. You know what? I'm not here to. If someone's not willing to listen, it's like going to Thanksgiving dinner with the in-laws, and everyone's just yak 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 yak. And I'm just sitting in the corner. No one's talking to me. And they're just all this, and it's generally about nothing. And no one's saying, hey, Brad, what do you think about this? And I don't even have to say anything because I already know I got more interesting stories in this room than anybody combined. But you know what? Unless somebody asks me something, in that kind of situation, I just let them act like they know it all, and I'll just sit back and I'd put the football game on, and I'll just be focused on that. I don't even care. Don't get your singing lessons from Milli Vanilli. That is the best advice of the day, man. Hair metal, just screaming tune. What about in hair metal? Now this is funny. The high, the screechy, that high screech thing. It's like a screech falsetto. I always thought that was hilarious back in the day, man. And for me, like I can sing AC/DC back in the day. I could sing if I'd been drinking whiskey and maybe not slept for a day or two. I could do all that stuff with that raspy voice. I could sing. You Shook Me All Night Long, or Highway to Hell. I could sing those songs if I hadn't been taking care of myself. But now that I take care of myself, I don't try to sing that style. But I always thought it's like that screechy falsetto thing. It's an interesting sound. And it was, man, if you had that style voice at the time, it was a huge thing. Yeah, Robert Plant, but that's more of a that's not really a screech. It's up there though, man. Bon Scott, yeah. I love Bon Scott. I'm a Bon Scott guy. I'm a David Lee Roth guy. I like the original versions. Yes, miserable. Tight underwear might be able to help. I used to have a falsetto where I could hit crazy high notes. I used to be able to sing all the high notes in the Prince song Kiss. I used to be able to do all the scream and all that. But man, as you get older, that stuff's gone, dude. My falsetto is toast. I don't have any of that anymore. I'm a bass baritone, so that's that. We've got 64 people in here. Let's get the thumbs up. We're having a good time. We want to thank Miserable for chipping in on the super chat. Yeah, just ask. Yeah, I was surprised. That's funny. Mike mentions Geddy Lee. I was surprised to read that Geddy Lee had been on the road. I would not have thought him to be a one of those packing the nose kind of guys. But you know what? The road makes you tired, and people sometimes, they're looking for a little boost in energy. They didn't have Red Bull, back then. Yeah, that would be expensive, Maxwell. I'm thinking, dude, that's you picking the wrong thing, bro. You got it. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I didn't have that on my, on my radar as something that would happen. Yeah, so yeah, exactly, Mike. That could be expensive, bro. Bro, too expensive. Mm-mm. Right on. Well, Charles, maybe you've been more gentle on your voice than I have. Um, Charisma is a cool song sung by Gene Simmons. I have not heard that. Haha. Yeah, that's an interesting thought, Turd. Listening to the new Striper albums lately, Michael Sweet still has the high voice. Well, a guy like that is a high tenor, and generally a high tenor will keep most of that upper range. For me, I'm a baritone, bass baritone, even when I was a kid. So the upper range was just a freak thing that I could sing falsetto from listening to old Prince records and singing along to stuff like that. But it was not something that was gonna, be able to sustain for decade after decade. Eventually your voice is just gonna do. This is not in your range. You know, so that's kind of how that went for me. I have not heard the new Striper thing. I have not. What's the best amp modeler out there today, Bo? If you know, then you tell me. I don't have one that I would, flat out just I have the Kemper Profiler player right now. It does sound great. Maxwell said an unplugged one. I haven't tried the Tone Master Pro. I haven't tried the Quad Cortex. I have the Nano Cortex. Um, I think that for something inexpensive, I like the Pod Express, and now I've got the Pod Express Black here, and it's kind of cool. But I think I like the original one better. I would like to see Line 6 do a Pod Express Neon Pink 80s version, and I would like to see all the amps. The clean tones be that the Jace would be the Roland 120s, whatever those stereo chorus amps, and the hard rock amps would be JCM 800s and Plexis and modded Marshalls and stuff like that. Maybe even I don't know, a Jackson Metaltronics or something like that, and have all the effects be the ping pongy, oversaturated plate reverbs and all that. I think that would sell a crap ton if they did that. The new Soldano X88 preamp, Claude, that thing sounds friggin' incredible, dude. That thing sounds incredible. But man, it's $24.99. So yeah. Oh no. So my wife says she's lost her spare key. I don't know what is going on with my fam. I don't know what she is doing, which means I might have to duck out here and figure out what is looking for her spare key. Oh my goodness gracious. It's always one calamity after another. But I love her to death. Let me see what's going on. Can you guys let me see if I can. I might have to back out of here. I don't know what is she doing. She just drove somewhere. She's got to have her keys. I just don't even know what's going on, man. So yeah, I might have to bring her on the show. Yeah, I need to, William, but I don't know what's going on, man. So I might have to boogie on out of here and see what's going on. Thank you guys so much for popping on with me for this impromptu live. Maybe I'll go live again later today, man. Maybe I'll come back in 10 minutes. I don't know. Let's see. But thank you guys so